Hello, my delicious co-creators. Lilou here. I'm in Japan today at the foot of Mount Fuji with JJ. Hello.
Hello, fine. As they say in Japan, now it's evening, konnichiwa. I don't know, konnichiwa, okay?
Konnichiwa. We just came back from the SOPP, the Symphony of Peace Prayer, and you were representing actually Hinduism. I know you're an economist at home and you work for the government and you worked, but you're so inspiring. Your speech was really inspiring and you bring such a message. And I feel sometimes even people that are not the ones representing the religions have such a deep message, and it talked directly to our heart. So thank you for that. Did you feel it? How was it up there?
Fantastic, huh? It was incredible that coming to Japan and having this environment below Mount Fuji, which is very, very spiritual for the Japanese, and they convey that message very well, to have all these different religions, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Shintoism and Hinduism, all talking about peace, the role of religion. For me, this is vital because I am very much involved in interfaith unity in Malaysia and around the world. Though I am an economist, I'm not religious, I'm a lay person, but I'm a development economist. And I do work in Malaysia and Africa, a place like this.
And you live in Malaysia?
I live in Malaysia, and I'm called a development economist. Okay, that means I was part of the team that way back in 1970, a long time ago, we transformed the Malaysian economy. We were very, very down, and then we took a strategy and we upgraded. Today, Malaysia is a very, very modern country, and I was part of the process where from ground zero we brought the country up. So what now? The UN, UNCTAD, UNIDO, and the Japanese government recently, they've asked me to help. How did Malaysia succeed from ground zero to what it is today? So we are sharing the experience, with other countries. Most recently with Japan. Japanese government has an agency called JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. And for the last 6 years, I was involved with them in their Asia-Africa Economic Linkage Strategy, focusing on a country called Zambia. And I used to go there 4 times a year and stay there 1 month every time, okay? It was a tremendous experience trying to help a country transform itself. So that's what I do professionally, I'm a development economist.
But you're certainly there part of who you are is to also share a message with the world. And I feel that right now it's particularly important, knowing that there's people all around the world. You are Hindu yourself. What is really there at the core of it all for you to share?
Okay, let me share with you something unusual. I was born in a Hindu family, but until 32 years old, I was an atheist. Until 32 years old, I was atheist. Now I'm 69, so you can imagine it's quite some years.
You look so much younger.
Anyhow, so why? Because I said, what is God? What everybody praying, especially Hindu religion, very confusing religion, and the temples you go to, and no one could give me any answers. And then I thought God is imagination, and what have you. Then. And 32 years old, I heard about this in India, this Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba. And I became a very strong anti-Sai Baba. I said, what nonsense, They say him to be an avatar. I mean, he's a divine incarnation. I said, what nonsense. God is imagination, avatar is double imagination. I used to say that. And then they'll tell me that he can create things by the wave of his hand. And I tell him, yeah, that's why he wears long sleeves, okay?
His tricks.
Yeah, tricks. And then they'll tell me, we're talking about 1976 now, okay, 76 at the time. And then they tell me that holy ash will come from his pictures around the world. So I used to go to friends' homes who are devotees, Baba members, and I'll go to any picture and just rub any picture on the wall, and you'll get dust, okay? So I'll tell them, hey guys, listen, don't clean your house for 1 week, you get a lot of holy ash, How can you be so stupid to believe this kind of things happen, okay? That was my attitude. I mean, I was not just a disbeliever. I was a committed anti. My purpose in life at that time was to destroy another person's belief in the ridiculous notion that an avatar existed, okay? This was my... Then one day a miracle happened in my life, a really incredible miracle that if you do a movie of what happened, it looks like fiction, okay? You want me?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened was somebody had come to Malaysia from Sri Lanka and he was talking about Sai Baba and he was staying in my auntie's house across the road. I'm cutting a long story short. I've written books on this, okay? So, And one day I went to the house and about 8 o'clock, and an argument started. He about Sai Baba, and I was attacking Sai Baba, from 8 o'clock to 10:30. I was attacking Baba. Who would attack someone for 2.5 hours like a madman, But I was sort of, it's the arrogance of ignorance. It's called, why? The human world is very funny, What we cannot understand, what we cannot put into a cubicle of traditional thought, our comfort zone, we reject is not possible. So for me, all this, what you're talking about, Baba, is not possible. What nonsense, Then I was making fun, and my auntie, my mother's younger sister, she was there, and this man from India, and were defending Baba, and I was attacking, making fun, laughing for 2.5 hours, At the end of, at about 10:30, at the height of my intellectual arrogance, I challenged Baba mentally. I said, hey, like this, hey, if you are who you say you are, if you are who they say you are, show me a sign, I'll believe. It is just a arrogant thing and threw in the air, And my dear, holy ash came on the picture. And that moment, my life changed. At 10:30 p.m., June 8, 1976, for the first time I realized there's a power beyond science. And this power is not a blind, unhearing power. It can hear me. And it can come into my world, If it is somewhere in heaven, I couldn't care less, okay? In the form of holy ash, It was stunning. And then can you imagine, 10:30, my cousins, my family members started telephoning all my relations around. Everybody's coming at 11 o'clock and to see this thing, you see. And I'm sitting there shell-shocked, okay? Now, what is amazing is someone had called me and showed me, hey, Jegathesan, look at this. There is holy ash. I said, hey, you think I'm stupid? You guys put it there and are trying to fool me. Now, everybody in the house is accusing me of putting the holy ash on the picture. And I'm the only one who knows I didn't do it. That was my turning point.
Oh, yeah. That's a big turning point. Yeah, you were in the seat of the other people before.
Exactly. And then that night, I was in turbulence, real turbulence. My whole life my whole life's belief, 32 years. I was a.
What do you mean, you were angry or?
No, I wasn't angry. I was stunned. I mean, shell-shocked, Shocked. And you see, for 32 years, I'm a development. I was a very senior officer in the Malaysian government. I was an economist, and I used to travel around the world with the prime minister, with the ministers. I'm meeting captains of industry. I was very much a worldly guy, and suddenly my belief system collapsed. Everything I believed in collapsed. Okay, and I was in turmoil. I didn't know what to do. And then my mother told me to go and pray. I said, prayer was foreign to me. Anyway, finally I could not take it. I went to my mother's room where she had an altar, and I started praying. And I saw this picture of Sai Baba. She had a small picture of Baba there, And I was like, can you imagine the scene, okay? And the room was dark, and I opened the door, she was not a Baba devotee, but she was a traditional Hindu. There was a Baba's picture there, a small picture at the bottom. And I'm looking at the picture, and he was holding his hand like this, and it appeared to me like he was mocking me, And can you imagine me? Can you imagine me, 32 years old? And I started shouting at the picture. I'm shouting loudly. I said, who are you? Why are you doing this to me? Are you man of God? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? It was so painful, And suddenly this thing, the volcano inside exploded. And the first song, God's song, came to me on that day. From that day till today, more than 1,300 songs have come to me in English, songs to Christ, songs to Buddha, songs to Baba, songs to Hindu gods. I mean, the songs keep on coming like that. No. And that's His grace, I get, okay? And now my songs are being sung in temples and places like that, okay?
And before that, not at all.
Nothing.
So what do you make of it? Because this is incredible. When you receive, then you couldn't deny it anymore.
I just tapped. Some energy is coming in, okay, at the time, For example, let's say, for example, when I go to, we do a lot of service now, So when I go to an old folks' home or somewhere and do some service, and the moment I'm coming home, boom, one song will start coming, It's as though like God is rewarding me. Okay, here you are, my son, here's a song for you. And during Christmas, for example, a lot of Christian songs are coming to me. During Buddhist period, Buddha songs will come, like that, different songs to come like that, And during the Hindu songs will come. So, I just go with the flow. I just enjoy. So I'm singing songs all the time, because the songs keep coming, you see. And so this is one of the miracles of my life.
So how did that change your day-to-day life, your reaction, your connection with people? I know that your wife passed away too. There's so many things that happen in your life.
Now you see how what happened. Those days, don't forget, I was director of investment in the Ministry of Industry. Okay, so I would get about, because I was working in I would get about every week, I'll get about 15 invitations to cocktails, dinners, and all this kind of. I used every hotel waiters knew me by name. But when this thing came to my life, and I went, and about 4 months after that, I went to India, and I was sitting in this crowd of 1,000 people. Okay, and I look like an Indian. Okay, though I'm Malaysian, but if you go to India and you sit there, you look different. I look like I emerge in the crowd. Baba comes straight to me. He said, "Hi, Malaysia." He said, "I got a shock of my life." He said, "Come." He called me, and he, I tell you, my father died when I was 7 years old. And 32, standing in front of him, I found my father again. In the sense that we always think that love is a emotion, but standing in front of him, I realized love is an energy. The energy is engulfing me, engulfing me. So much love, energy. He's treating me like a child, like a little baby. He's pinching my cheek and putting my head like this, and I felt so bad that I had opposed this divine being. So what this love being so much. I thought I apologized to him. Okay. I dare not tell him I was an opposer, so I thought I'll put it gently. So I said, "Well, Swami, forgive me. Only about 4 months ago, I was a disbeliever." I put like that. He replied, "Not only disbeliever, strong opposition, strong opposition." He said. My knees just gave way. I collapsed to the floor crying, I cried like a bitch. "Shh, don't cry, don't cry." He said, "Swami knows everything, Swami knows everything. Get up, he said. Anyhow, he called me twice for interview there, and then, but his commandment to me when I left finally, he said, "You go back to Malaysia, and all these people now, the devotees now, are just singing. We sing songs every week, get together. Only singing. Tell them to go and do service. Serve the poor, the sick. Do service. That is what you must do." Now, when he told me this, don't forget my lifestyle those days was, every day I come back, go to work, come back home about 5 o'clock, 5:30. I have bath, exercise, and every evening cocktail dinner. I had no time for anything else, So when he told me go and do service, I told him, "Swami, I got no time." Because I'm thinking all the cocktails, Then when I came, he just ignored me. He asked me to sing a song. Anyway, then when I came back to Malaysia, my life changed. I tell all the business people, "You want my help? You come and see me in my office. No is to give me dinner, nothing. My evenings are for service for the poor." So after I cut off all, it's so unnecessary, And
were you explaining to them what happened to you,
no.
or you just did it?
Yeah, they would say, "Okay, can we come for dinner? No, can we? No, what's the problem? No, hey, listen, why should you give me dinner? Come to my office. I'll solve your problem." Because I was in Ministry of Industry. I was in MIDA, an agency called Industrial Development Authority. I said, "No need to entertain me for anything. I'll just serve you guys, and evenings I must be free for my service activities." So that was my life, was a dramatic change. And one thing I realized, and this is what I tell my staff, my officers. I realize that the guys who are coming to see me and inviting me for cocktail, dinner, they're not inviting Jegathesan, They're inviting the monkey sitting in the chair. So if there was a real monkey sitting there, holding the position director investment, the monkey would get the same respect that I was getting, "Hello, monkey, how are you, monkey? Good morning, monkey. Monkey, come for dinner, monkey," like this, And I realized that the moment I lost my position, then they don't care for me after that, So and many people dedicate so much of their life for this very transient thing, People went in because of what they are. But today, now, what I do, no one can take away. Even if I lose.
You're a free man too.
Free man. Now I go to the old folks' home, I go to the leprosariums, I go to the orphanages, and the children just come to you not because any position you hold. They come to you because the love you share, And now hundreds of people around me, the love is not because of any position that I can do for them, but we are bonded together in a mission to help the poor and the sick and the needy.
So you became a guru.
Well, not a guru, but but someone who's trying to be a spiritual person, okay, trying to be. People, okay, many of the youngsters, they call me Anna, elder brother, or some of them call me father. After all, but
they have respect.
They respect, and because I've become an example, of how a person can live in a worldly life, I was a very senior officer in the government, yet we're dedicating our life to the poor. And now, after I retired from government service, I was invited as an advisor to UNCTAD, UNIDO, the UN agencies for industrial development. And for the last 7 years, 6 years, myself and my wife, we were both consultants for the Japanese government, JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency for the Asia-Africa Linkage Strategy. So that's what my professional life, and that's how my life, the professional life and my sort of spiritual life, so to speak, blended together. But now you ask me about today, ma'am, today. I'd like to share with your viewers, if you don't mind.
Especially because it was so inspiring what you said. I guess it's related to that, to the message you really feel at heart to share.
Like today in this SOPP. Now today there are many crises in the world, everywhere. But there are famine, food, shortage, wind, earthquake. But that will go on and on. That was there 100,000 years ago. Famine was there 1,000 years ago. Earthquakes, and that will continue. But today, at this time, there are two crises that's facing mankind that was never there before. What is it? For the first time in human history, we're at a point whereby religions can trigger a world war. Religion can trigger, first time in human history, religion can trigger a world war, Can you imagine? Look what's happening now in the world today. USA and Middle East. One press of a button, Holocaust everywhere, USA and that's Christianity and Islam. Look at Middle East itself, Judaism and Islam. Within Islam itself, Sunni and Shia, they're killing each other, Why? You take Sri Lanka, example. Sri Lanka, there was this conflict recently, the tiger conflict between the Tamils and the Sinhalese, they call it. Flip the coin, it is basically Hindu and Buddhist. Look at, India itself. If the whole India and Pakistan was Muslim, this Kashmir war won't be there. If the whole India and Pakistan was Hindu, the Kashmir won't be there. Because of the religion, the border, same people actually, but they can't play. Look at Ireland, Catholics and Protestants. Same people, you can't recognize the guy from whether he's a different religion. They conflict. Fiji, take Fiji. There was this between the Fijians and the Indians. Flip the coin, Hindus and Christians. Everywhere, religion that is supposed to be the most powerful force for love, unity, caring, sharing, has become the most potent force for violence. This is totally against every religious preaching, So, and then what happened was in Malaysia, we were doing, I belong to the Sai Baba movement, I was the founding member and I was a president for many, now I'm an advisor. What we used to, because Sai Baba movement is basically an interfaith movement. We have got Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, all kinds of people. And I was the first president, then a Chinese took over from me, he was a Buddhist the president, then another Chinese as the president. So many, in fact, the world president of Sai Baba organization, the official side, until recently was a Jewish gentleman in USA. So it's an interfaith movement. So what we used to do in Malaysia was, I wondered how do we express this interfaith? We just come. Of course, we sit down in our centers. We sing songs. We sing songs to Buddha, Christ, and Jesus, everybody. We interfaith songs. And then I said, listen. So I told them in Malaysia there are still 5 major religious festivals: Christianity, Christian Christmas. There's a Buddhist festival, Buddha Purnima they call it. There's Deepavali for the Hindus. Then there's Eid for the Muslims, and there is Chinese New Year. 5 major religions. So what we used to, Sai Baba movement used to do, since we do service regularly anyhow, we'll dedicate a major service activity to that religion. Let's say Christmas, for example, we'll dedicate a big service activity for old folks home or something, dedicated to Christ. And we'll invite a Christian priest to come, and launch it and say a prayer. Doing Buddha Purnima, the Buddhist festival, we do another service, invite the Buddhist priest to come and launch it, cut the ribbon, say a prayer like this. But all these people will come and say, Jaga, we are coming in my personal capacity, not representing the church. Okay, this is a very important thing they used to tell us. I said, doesn't matter, we're doing it anyhow. Then came September 11th. September 11th for me was a turning point in my own consciousness, okay, in this sense. After September 11th, in American, this thing, the world suddenly began to get together to have interfaith dialogues. Dialogue. Everybody talk. In Malaysia too, it happened. In Malaysia, there's a consultative count. Malaysia is a 60% Muslim nation. There are about 30% or 30% Chinese who are Buddhists and Christians, and there are about 8% Indians, like that, okay, who are Hindus. Now, in Malaysia, Malaysia is a very beautiful country, very nice country. The Muslims leaders are very tolerant, very beautiful people, and you're allowed religious freedom, full religious freedom. But Islam, they say, don't interfere with Islam. That's all. You can celebrate your Christmas in a big way, do whatever you want. The Hindus can do whatever you want, We have big procession in the street, but don't interfere with Islam. That's all. Which is fair enough, Why should you go and interfere with other religion? Now, in Malaysia, there's a consultative council for Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Sikhism, and Taoism. Islam was not there. Why? Because it was 60% anyhow. And none of these guys, they felt not necessarily they should join an interfaith alliance, because they know that anyone wanting them to be part of it is trying to use the majority strength. So this consultative council, all the religious leaders, they actually had this council to talk to government sometimes for religious problems, okay? So and the government, majority Muslim government, okay? Nice guys, but sometimes there's some problems. So they organized the conference on after September 11th on how to get unity, among religions. Now there was no Muslim speaker there, but there were Christian speakers. There were priests, there were Christian Buddhist priests, and people know me as an interfaith man, so they invited me to speak. Now for me, I didn't know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say? Now there were 500 people in the hall, okay, and the speakers and a lot of lay people are there listening, and so I said, okay, Baba, guide me what I should say. I just went and sat down and wondering what to say. When my turn came, let me summarize to you what I said, okay? I said, monks, revered monks, priests, holy men, and all my brothers and sisters, frankly, I think all of us are wasting our time here. My first sentence, everybody was stunned, okay? The guy who invited me, the priest who invited me, put his head down and said, what is this madman saying? I said, I know you're thinking why I'm saying this. Let me tell you why. The fact that you're all inside this hall today here shows me that you're converted. You believe in interfaith. You won't be here. But let me tell you this. If there is some interfaith violence in this country, none of us fat cats, exact words, none of us fat cats will take a knife after each other. The guys will take a knife are those in the slum areas, the poor areas, the high-rise tenement, low-cost places. Those will be the one to take the knife, It is those people who must be convinced that interfaith is a living reality. Not something that people sit in air-conditioned rooms and give pious speeches, and then end of it we tap our shoulders and say, made a good speech, and we go home. It doesn't make any impact at all, okay? Now, then after this I was a fine line, because these are all priests sitting in front of me, all different religions. I said, if for some mental aberration we have, we refuse to pray in another man's hall of prayer because we want to lock the omniscient, omnipresent God within the four walls of our own little hall of prayer. Carry on, do that, I said. But nothing to prevent Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists all holding hands and serving the poor outside, where the sky is the roof and the earth is the ground. Everybody applauded. But of course, everybody applauded, but no one did anything, But that day, I realized what we should do. So after that, I went back and I called the Sai Baba Council people together and I said, guys, no more now individuals coming. We now go for the juggler. Let's approach the two very important people we need to approach is the Islamic group and the Catholics. If we get them to understand the need for interfaith service, then others will easily come in. And we can't do it without Islam and Christianity. I know the Hindus would come in anyhow, and I knew the Buddhists also would come in. So I approached the Archbishop of the Catholic Church in Malaysia. They all know me. He was very welcome. He put coffee, tea, and gave for us. Then I told him, Archbishop, does the Catholic Church believe in all of us getting together to do service? His reply was, Mr. Jegathesan, I've been watching you, you're a very senior government servant, yet you do all this social work, you go to the old folks' home, you sweep the drain, very normally senior civil servants don't do this, they just come in for the official opening, I said, sir, please, sir, don't talk about me. I'm just asking you one question, sir. Does the Catholic Church believe in Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, all holding hands and serving the poor outside? Of course we believe it, sir. Then, sir, please sign up. I had a form for the formation of the friendship group for inter-religious service. No dialogue. We just get together and serve the poor. He said agreed. He signed up and said he'll send a representative. Then I approached the Muslims. The ABIM. ABIM is the Islamic National Youth Group in Malaysia. Very, very volatile, vocal people. And I approached them. They were very interesting. They told me, you know what we do in Malaysia? In the Sai movement in Malaysia, we have organized more than 1,500 medical camps in the poor areas, in Malaysia. At that time when I approached him 10 years ago, maybe we had organized about 1,000 camps. And most of the camps, medical camps, free medical service we do, is in the rural areas. In the rural areas, 95% of the population is Muslim. The task force coming with me to do the service are doctors, nurses, and paramedics, and people like me who are just, I call coolies. I can't do any work. I just carry chairs. I can do medical experience. I just work as an ordinary person there. And but we are all interfaith in a group. But that 95% of the people we are serving are Muslims. So when we used to do this, I didn't realize. That in fact some Muslim doctors would come and join us, because they want. But rest of the visible crowd would be a non-Muslim crowd helping her. And in Malaysia those days, and sadly to a still extent today, Muslims help Muslims, Chinese help Chinese, Indians help Indians. Suddenly here we have a multiracial task force, Indians all coming and helping the majority Muslim, 95% Muslim in a rural area. Sometimes we'll sleep in little homes on the floor, for 2 days we are serving the poor like that. And when we were approached as ABIM, they told us, Mr. Jega, we have a dossier this thick about Sai Baba movement. And about you personally this thick. I said, wow, why? You know what they used to do? After we do our medical camp, they will send their people to go and ask the camp people, the people you're serving, what did these people tell you? Are we trying to convert them, So one of the strict instructions that Baba has given us, and I give all of my, when we do a service, don't talk about Baba, nothing, You just serve. And if you meet a Muslim, tell him to be a better Muslim. You meet a Christian, tell him better Christian. You see a Hindu, better. That's all we do. Don't serve. You're not here to promote anything, Just there to serve. So that's what people used to do. So when this group, this ABIM group, it's called ABIM, the Islamic Youth Group, went to meet these people after we left, what did they do? What did they? They said no. They told us they just helped us, and they gave medicine to us, and then they said be a better Muslim. That's all. So that's why that dossier was doing. We would do so many camps, And then to Mr. Jega, we realized that you are very sincere. We are with you. For the first time in Malaysian history, an Islamic group and a volatile youth group became part of an interfaith alliance. One day were there, then others came in. The Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Sikhs all came in. Okay. Now we got this thing called a friendship group for interreligious service, and now we have done interfaith medical camps. So we not only we do service, but we have interfaith unity. So we make sure, okay, let's say there are 3 doctors from Hindus, there are 3 doctors from Muslim, like that. We make sure the parity is there. And I told them the badges you have will not have your name, but Hindu, Muslim. So the people know that you are an interfaith alliance. That's been going. Everyone thought for 11 years now, since September.
Why don't we not hear more about it?
Because we don't publicize it. This kind of.
Wow, this is not something we hear on TV.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because it's happening in Malaysia. Malaysia, no one cares. If this happens in USA, or in America, or in Japan, CNN, BBC all pick it up, But
I hope so.
But if they do it in Japan, America, they'll pick it up, and then it'll become phenomenon. So this is one challenge, So I tell people, let us not talk about religion. Let us show that we can hold hands and serve the poor, And that is our main thing, And by serving that, you see, if I'm sitting, when we've attended interfaith functions, where we see what happens, the hall is full of people, and all the Muslims will sit by themselves, the Hindus sit by one corner, and the Muslims all sit by their friends, okay? So they don't really mix each other. Only the speakers on the stage are speaking, that's it. But when you do go to an old folks home or you go to a medical camp, when I've got to carry a sick person, I don't care who's the guy helping me, whether Muslim, I don't ask you, are you a Muslim, Hindu, or both of us, we suddenly become brothers, just brothers, helping the sick person, helping the handicapped. And the barriers of religion and race all drop off, okay? And then we get to know each other, personally on that level, okay? Because we got an ideal. So that began to grow, and now it's a massive program. Now, in fact, we've done so much good work now, the Interfaith Alliance, they call the friendship group, that recently now the government of Malaysia is trying to promote interfaith unity, you see, and they were having some problems initially. But now, the work we are doing became so well recognized that the government, in Malaysia there is a Department of National Unity under the Prime Minister's Department. And the thing we are doing is not only just interfaith service, but interfaith human value programs. I'll tell you about that later. So the government now has told, one day saw another thing we're doing, they said, Jega, it's fantastic. We will fund all your activities. So now the government is funding many of the interfaith activities we're doing, and they've become part of a advisory team to the government. So that is one challenge of the world. How do we get people now, instead of just talking about religion or fighting each other, hold hands and work together for the benefit of mankind? That's a big challenge. And that's a call of every religion, okay, service. Okay. This is the first crisis. The second crisis, which I feel facing mankind now, see this interfaith conflict like this on the scale, and never before in human history. Only now, the one press of button there could be, the second crisis that is confronting mankind, which never before happened, is for the first time in human history, father and mother are being sidelined and put aside. Parents are no more respected and revered as it was 100 years ago. You look at what the religion, and this is a fundamental religious principle. The Bible, among the 10 commandments, only 10 commandments, one commandment is revere your father and mother. In Islam, it says, heaven lies at the feet of the mother. In Hinduism, it says, if you cannot worship the gods you can see in front of you, your father and mother, how can you worship the unseen God? So every religion, in Buddhism, in Sikhism, all talk about this. But today that particular thing is declining, to an extent, that is shamefully extent, that for example, in Singapore, which is 80% Chinese population, and for Chinese, filial piety is a foundation of Chinese civilization, okay? Confucian ethics, In Singapore, the government has passed a law whereby parents can sue their children, adult children, for neglecting them. Now, when the government proposed that law, people said, "What nonsense, Which parent will sue the children?" And yet, when the first day they opened the office, they had a special commission for this. I was following the story in the newspapers, okay? 6 couples, Chinese couples, went to the office. And one mother, the record of the mother's statement, was saying, my daughter prefers to feed the dogs rather than look after us. Now, can you imagine the crying heart of that mother? And when I speak to the Indians, I tell the story, I tell them, hey, before you Indians think you guys are great, okay? In India, Mata Pida, father and mother is supposed to be the fundamental, okay? They say in India, Mata Pida Guru Deva. That means first is mother, then father, then the Guru, then God. That's how the process is. No. I mean, father, mother is the God you can see in front of you. In India, where such a high principle is there, the another thing I tell you, what in Indian, in Tamil, we got Tamil saying, it says that, I tell in Tamil, it says, Tande sol mikkador mandiram illai. That means, there's no greater mantra than the word of the father. An honorable father. Father says do. But the father must be an honorable father, and he can't be a drunkard, okay? And what about mother? You know what he says of mother? Tayinum siranda koilillai. That means there's no greater temple than mother. You don't worship at the brick and mortar temple, doesn't matter. Worship your mother. That's the kind of principles that was holding the country for centuries. But today the Indian government has passed a law whereby the government can sue a son or daughter for abandoning their parents. You know what they do? They'll take the parents to a big religious festival or some huge function, with thousands of people there. Come, Papa, Amma, we take you to see this big function. So the parents are happy, my son. Then while they're watching, these fellows go home quietly. They take them far away, far away to another state. When the function is over, the father or mother is sitting there all alone. and don't know where to go. They don't know where their house is. All most of them uneducated people. And this became a big problem in India. So the government passed a law they can sue the children for abandoning parents. In Malaysia, it's not so serious, but it's serious enough. In 1 out of 4 parents are now in old folks' homes. Not because they have no children. Children are there, but they find it inconvenient to look after the father and mother. So they put in old folks' homes. I think it's irony. I tell people, listen, a father and mother not working those days. Mother maybe not working, looking at the house, father working, not very rich person, with 6 children. They bring up the children till they all working. Suddenly the child gets married, this fellow gets married, and the father, they can look after one mother or one father. Because they don't care. Anyway. So what they do today nowadays? Today, how they celebrate honor father and mother? There is Father's Day and Mother's Day. This is becoming the most commercial thing in the world. The only people who benefit are the shops selling cards and gifts, and Father's Day give newspaper advertisement will take. Father's Day, bring the father to this place for dinner. Mother's Day, and you know what they do? I give speeches around the world on this subject now. I said, listen, what happened Father's Day? The son will buy a card, Father's Day card, and he put dear Papa or dear Father, dear Dad. There's a poem there written by someone else. The idiots can't write their own poem even for their father and mother. At the bottom they say, I love you. Then he'll give the father a purse with a present or a flower or something like that. And a Mother's Day card, another mother, dear mother, another poem written by someone else. And then give the mother a purse or a flower. And the father will be crying, mother will be crying, oh, my son loves me. And the father will put that card on top of the television set, when friends come, see, my son sent me a purse. What nonsense, I said. I said, no more this. We'll launch a program now called the Hope Agenda, HOPE. Honor our parents every day.
But shouldn't there be also for parents to also honor their children all their life? Because that's something important that we feel in Western countries too, is that we always ask, to pay respect to our parents, but sometimes, I've been hearing that all my life, and then when the disrespect is on the other side, I think there's also a little revolution there happening, and it's both ways. Things need to... We learn from the elders, and the elders also can learn from us.
People ask me about this. Jega, what about parents now? Not like. I said, listen, I think 80-90% of parents love and care for them. They want the best for their children. There could be 5-10% don't care. Now, let's not focus on the 5-10%. Let us move the 80% forward. Then we can change them. You see, we can't neglect this part of it. I agree with you. I said no, but why are we focusing on this 5-10%? There are so many beautiful parents, who will give their life for the children. Okay, when I'm addressing youngsters, for example, when I'm addressing young youth, youth, and nowadays sometimes when I tell the youth and the girls, especially and boys, I tell them, hey guys, listen, you fall in love with a girl or a boy, and then after 1 year of falling in love, you're prepared to throw away 25 years of parents' love for the 1 year of the love of this girl and boy. If any boy tells you, leave your father and come with me, or leave mother and come, then the guy doesn't know what's meaning of love. Because if he can if he can persuade you to throw away 25 years of parental love, he can throw your love away easily, just like that, okay? He doesn't know. So I tell another example. I call this youth, hey guys, listen. I tell this, especially the girls, much more, but they're poor things. They are much more, fragile, this kind of things, So I tell them, listen, guys. I told the girls, guys, listen. In front of boys, the big mixed groups. Hey, girls, be careful of these boys. The guy will come and tell you, oh, darling, I will swim the biggest ocean for you. I'll climb the highest mountain for you. You know what your reply should be? Carry on. Let them swim. It's good for exercise, okay? But don't believe the guys, okay? Don't believe each of them. You are a flower. Don't allow the flower to be plucked, okay? And I tell you that. And then you're prepared to abandon your parents' love just for that. I tell you something. You'll go and tell your father and mother, oh, this boy loves me, he's prepared to give his life for me, you'll tell like that. Okay, I'm asking you a question now, all of you. Imagine now the huge pool, deep lake, and you are in the middle of the lake, drowning. And around the lake is your father, mother, and this boy who told you he'll give his life for you and all your best friends. Now I ask you one question only. Who is the one person who, without thinking of the person's own life, will dive in and give a life to save you. Who is the person you think? I ask them. Everybody say mother. Exactly. Then they ask, I said, yes, mother doesn't know how to swim also, she'll dive in, to save you. Because 9 months she carried you, But I told the father will follow. But the father is slightly smarter, He'll put a string around him and follow. He knows he's got to come out of it, okay? Mother doesn't care. The boy who told you, darling, I'll die for you, he'll say, oh, please, somebody, hey, save my darling, I don't know how to swim. I got a new suit and I don't want to spoil the suit. Right? I said, listen, imagine the preciousness of that love, okay, So, I said, listen, so now what we have launched now is in Malaysia now, and also everywhere I've gone talking about this. It's called the Hope Agenda, H-O-P, honor our parents every day. To ask the youth, how do your parents pray? Ask yourself, are they praying, thank you God for this wonderful son, thank you for this wonderful daughter, what have I done to be worthy of such children? Are they praying like that? Are they saying, oh God, what sin I have done to get this fellow? If I have a car, I can change the car. This is I cannot change it. So now we have launched massive programs. In schools now, we have in the kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, we are doing very fun programs of Hope Agenda. Hope. That means that we tell the youth, to compose their own songs about love for parents and sing in big groups. We ask them to do their drama on parents. So they may do it just for the fun. They may not believe it initially, but as they start rehearsing the lines, it goes in the subconscious. It'll be like a mantra, When they start putting, instead of we telling them, they write their own script, and this thing starts coming out of them, a person's change can only come if we manage to reach the subconscious mind. Then conscious mind, if conscious mind will go away, So then after this, like mantra, they do a rehearsal, father, mother, I love you, something like that. After that, hey, that message is quite correct.
I think repetition is enough.
So they begin to think, that songs when they sing, like that. So there's a big thing going on in Malaysia, All the government has allowed us to go into schools now to do this, And all the religions and the interfaith are supporting this. We took the program to Mauritius. Went to Mauritius. One of the president of the Sai Baba, one youngster now, he is now the president. His name is Dr. Suresh Govind. He's a scientist, a brilliant scientist. But he took that and he went and started talking about this Hope Agenda also. And recently I was invited to Mauritius, You know what they done in Mauritius? That stunned me also. They have built 4 monuments on hope. And it's a huge 5-foot monument, okay? And I've got photographs of this, And it shows a father and mother blessing 2 children. And the monument at the bottom says hope, honor our parents every day. And then it says, seek your parents' blessing, whatever you do in life. So this is one. In the meantime, we also have other programs going on in Malaysia called parenting programs. Okay, how people should deal with children. Not that there are very few, 5%, 10%, who really neglect the children. Whatever. But most of them, they care for them, but they don't know how to deal with them. Especially teenagers. For example, the father and mother will not know how to use the computer. But these guys, all the kids, so computer savvy. They know sometimes. They think they know more than their parents. Okay. So how do you bridge this gap, what we call the generation gap? So now we're having big programs like that, okay, on parenting, okay. So how do what I've done in Malaysia is to get the youth to see the other side. We have debates, okay, youth debates. So one day when I started this, I told, okay, let's have the debate subject. Parents are responsible for the generation gap. I put the debate subject. So some of my elders and some of the guys in the council, hey, Jega, how can you say that? How can your parents? I say, hey, use your brains. If the debate going on, if one side says parents are responsible, and the other side must defend. So instead of we defending the parent, let them defend, parents. So we bring up very exciting subjects, on value subjects. For example, modern music is responsible for the decline of values. Is subject. Now other side must defend. So like that, we begin to bring things that challenge the popular concept of youth today and let them see the other side we are trying to present to them. So like this, we try. So the big challenge, I think, the world today, and imagine now, no other time in human history have parents been sidelined. 100 years ago, whether it's Christians or Buddhists or everywhere, parents were thinking. Today, parents are being sidelined like crazy, and people justify many reasons. So this is one big challenge, we're trying to get, and this is fundamentally this a religious thing, no. I mean, this every religion says this, okay. Why we're not implementing it? Why we're not doing something about? You know why it's difficult? It's difficult because you're dealing with human. There's two things, the interfaith unity, and parents is a problem of human consciousness. That's why it's difficult. How do you change a consciousness of an extremist of religion, of one religion, who thinks my religion is the biggest thing, to make him understand, hey, hold on, God is one.
Yeah, but if you were sceptic before, before this kind of miracle happened to you, what do you think is needed for people that are sceptic or that are very extremist in their religion to open up? Because this is really the conversation I think that is needed.
So this is not
To kind of close this topic, because I know I'm gonna have to go to Malaysia. You realize that, so that we can continue these conversations. Because loving it. I mean, it's like the volcano erupting. It's the Mount Fuji. It's just,
no volcano, no.
no, you are the volcano.
I see, okay. So you see now, but the thing is, what, like as I said, okay, before I became a religion, my mother was my God. I told you, I didn't believe anything, but my mother was my God. Okay, I will never do anything to displease her. Whatever I do in my life, I'll ask myself, will it make mother happy? Then I'll do it. So I didn't realize at the time that actually because of my dedication to my mother, I was getting God's grace was coming to me through my mother, and my life was very successful. Very. I mean, I'm just in Malaysia. The Indians, we have 8% of the population. We're a minority, but extremely successful.
It was successful, but there was something big time missing in your life.
Correct. Well, I didn't feel it was missing at the time.
Right.
Really, but I was having. You see, I was telling you, I thought that is what. You see, I had in those days when I was there, everything that people normally want for. I had a house, I had a wife, I had a son, I had a daughter, I had a car, I had a cat, a mouse, and a rat. I mean, mouse and everything I had. Okay, I mean, and I was popular. And I didn't. Then only later when Baba came in my life, I realized, my God, all these things I'm enjoying now. I told you, like a monkey sitting in the chair. If I lost my position, no one would care for me. So now let me transform my life to something that, whatever position I'm in my life, then I have a meaningful life. Okay. Yeah, your listeners. Now, I want all your listeners to ask them the one question. Okay. If you write an autobiography of your own story, of your own life, will it be the most boring thing even for you to read? Then you look at your life, my God, what kind of life is it? No more boring. Or is it such an exciting thing, that because you came to this world, you made a difference? Yeah. I mean, if you ask yourself, is your own autobiography going to be the most boring thing that even you will not want to read? Or would it be an exciting thing, that because you existed, the world became a slightly better place? And everyone can play a role. It's not that you don't need, the Einsteins of the world or the big giants, the Nelson Mandelas, but everyone can make a difference, in the environment, in the family, So this is the challenge the world faces again. So now we are trying to. So whenever I go now, I try to tell people, guys, listen, dialogue is good, but that's an event. I encourage dialogue interference. I'm participating in this dialogue now. Now, how do we now move forward further and make it not just not an event, but an activity? So I went to America. I'll tell this to you. I went to USA, Little Rock, Arkansas, Clinton's place. Okay, I was invited for a seminar on the role of religion in creating interfaith harmony and caring society, And I was the keynote speaker. In the Great Hall of Clinton, and they gave me Jega because I'm coming from overseas. So you have 1 hour for you, and they gave 20 minutes for one Catholic priest, one Protestant priest, one Islamic mullah, and a professor of theology. So I got up. The hall was packed with people. Again, the mayor daily came and launched it again, and so I told them, listen, of course, all of them had prepared big speeches. I told them, gentlemen, you know more philosophy than I do. Okay? But let me tell you one thing. I'm just going to share with you what is happening in a majority Muslim country like Malaysia. And I flashed on the screen the entire work being done on the friendship group for interfaith service. How we started, what happened after September 11th, we got together, and flashed the pictures of all the archbishops and all these people there. When I finished my slide, that's it, I said. The Catholic priest got up. He put down his speech. He said, what is there for me to say? This is fantastic. I mean, I can't imagine this happening in Malaysia. I think within 5 minutes, he said there's a nice thing to do. Second person also 5 minutes. Third person also, even the Islamic mullah said 5 minutes. Only Professor Theology spoke 10 minutes, and then he agreed. Then the chairman of the session said, okay, we want to thank Mr. Jegathesan for coming all the way from Malaysia to share with us this. So I put up my hand one more time. I said, sir, can I speak again? He said, yes. If we now clap our hands and go home after this and say what a wonderful speeches we made, we have wasted everybody's time. If you all think what has happened in Malaysia, in a Muslim country, is really something wonderful. What about in an interfaith country like America? You all should pass if you think this makes sense, pass a resolution right now that you will do something like that. So chairman has a good idea. How many of you think we should do something interfaith activity? Everybody put up their hand. Fine. Immediately they formed a task force, So then I went off, 2006. 2008, they invited me again to Little Rock. You know for what? For the launching of the first ever interfaith medical clinic for the poor. Free, it's called the Harmony Clinic. And I went there and I got this, Arkansas traveler certificate and signed by the governor, and I got a shield they gave me for thanking me for creating this initiative. And now they have this first, so it's possible. That means it's only people must be motivated for an ideal and know it's possible, If everyone thinks it's not possible, oh, how do we get all the religions together, not possible, too difficult. But suddenly they see in Malaysia, a Muslim country, we are doing it, These Asians can do it, why can't we, So that's the interfaith clinic, so like that. So it is possible for us to work together, and show the world. And amazingly, I tell you what, I just received some word. This particular Harmony Clinic in Little Rock is located in a rather poor area, poor part of the city, where a lot of negative behavior. These guys told me, Jega, strangely, after the clinic started there, free clinic, the report they're getting was crime and other negative behavior has declined dramatically in that area. Why it's happening, I don't know. I really don't know why. Maybe, of course, the energy of goodness could be the reason. Second reason could be all the bad guys, who are there. They probably take their parents, to this place, for they see people helping their parents, they say, well, we better be good, nice people. Could be that, I don't know. So that could be. So there are a lot of reasons things like that. So we're trying to do this kind of thing, to show the world.
Well, all this to say that, my beautiful co-creators, you should take action, right? Because you're taking your precious time here to generously pour out all these stories and this knowledge, and I so appreciate it. And this is not just another video. Each of those videos, each of those stories should pull you into action in your own country, and be the leaders in your own life.
This is make your life the adventure you want to see in your life, okay? Make a difference, okay? And it can be done. Only thing, you must dare to break the barrier. You are a Christian or a Buddhist or whatever you are, you must dare to break the barrier. You see, sometimes we guys, we operate within our own comfort zone. Christian, and I'm a Hindu, and you're afraid to approach the other guy. I tell you something now, listen to this message, message to all the world now. I give you a message. If I, as a Hindu fanatic, see, God has got a great sense of humor, believe it or not, okay? If I, as a Hindu fanatic, think that my Hindu brother or Hindu sister is closer to me than you, Christian, you're not. I'm closer to my Hindu brother and sister than you, Christian or a Muslim, then God is going to teach me a deadly lesson. If I have an accident tomorrow, I need blood. My Hindu brother's blood could kill me. My Christian sister's blood could save my life. Who is my closer brother? Who is your closer brother? This is God's secret, okay? That the person who is your totally different religion, different culture, could save your life, and the person who is your closest buddy, closest religion person could kill you. And that's why God did not put our blood group on our foreheads. If God had put group A, group B, group C on our foreheads, all the group A guys would form one nation. They'll form group A nation, group B nation, But God kept that secret. So be good to love everybody. Because the person that you think you want to hate could be the person who could save your life.
Beautiful, JJ. Thank you so much. And I also thank your beautiful wife that is here sitting with us for being such the gatekeeper and the holder of this beautiful family of yours. Thank you so much for being in Mount Fuji in Japan. I love it. My beautiful co-creators. We wish you peace in your country. That's what we were praying all day for. So wherever you live, we send you so much love and blessings to all of you. Bye.
And I hope you guys get a chance to look at this kimono she's wearing, okay? She was the most attractive person in the function today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a beautiful yukata, it's called. Much love from Japan. Bye.
Bye. God bless.